And yes, there's going to be people that tell you no. There's going to be times where you don't feel like you have the support. But you have to just push through that. Some of y'all might be like, what in the world are you talking about? Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Amber, and here I talk about faith, lifestyle, and some real estate from time to time. I'm very new at YouTube, and so I'm still figuring out what areas or what topics I really want to focus on. So for now, I'm just experimenting. So hopefully if you like today's video, I'll consider doing more videos on the topic of real estate. But ultimately, I just wanted to do a video today to just encourage those of you who might be new to real estate. Maybe you've been in real estate, or maybe you're considering real estate. So hopefully by the end of today's video, you'll feel maybe inspired or motivated, or have a better understanding of real estate and whether or not it's something that you want to pursue. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the 10 things that can make you a top producing agent in 2022. I do have my phone with me because I have my notes on here, so this is going to help guide me and keep me on topic. The first thing that you want to do when you get your real estate license is you want to make sure that you select a supporting broker. Your broker is ultimately your supervisor. They're not really your employer because you are an independent contractor, but your broker is the person who makes sure that you're doing things under compliance, that your paperwork is done accurately. You know, they're the ones that to be there to hold you accountable. And so you want to make sure, especially when you're newly licensed, to have a broker who is all about educating new agents and who can offer support as well as training. This is super important because I have met agents in the past who did not have that with their previous broker, and they got their license and they just felt like they were thrown out to the wolves. And when they did go to their broker to get some to ask questions or they needed support, it was as if they were inconveniencing them. So make sure that you go with a broker who's all about providing the education that you need, the support that you need. And make sure to ask that as well. Whenever you get your license, whenever you pass your test, if you have not already chosen a broker, you have the opportunity to get to meet some different brokers, and they're going to interview you, you interview them, but it's just a way for you to gauge, you know, can you fit into the culture that they have at their realty. So do not take this lightly because, you know, a good broker has the opportunity to propel you in your business. But if you end up going with a broker who is the opposite, then they have the ability to hinder you. So definitely don't take this lightly. And also, while I'm on the topic of this, you know, make sure that you have an understanding of your broker's expectations. Sometimes at smaller brokerages, maybe, you know, the broker might want to have agents who are committed to a full-time real estate schedule and not so much part-time. Or maybe there's a broker who wants experienced agents only who already know real estate. That way they don't have to, you know, babysit, for lack of a better term. So that's my first point. Find you an awesome broker that you mesh very well with. The second thing that you ought to do to become a top producing agent this year is to read The $1 Million Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. This book is so good. I am reading through it for a second time already, and this is the #1 real estate book I think ever in the history of the world. You don't have to be a Keller Williams agent to read this book. It is definitely profoundly like the best book, especially like if you're new. This book is awesome because it's going to help you create the mindset that you need to have to do well in this business. And maybe you've been doing it for a while already. You know, this book has the opportunity to kind of realign you, to maybe refocus you, and to help you make sure that you're on track to meeting your goals and doing what you want to do ultimately. So the book is full of things that top producing millionaire real estate agents do. I mean, it's in the book. So all you have to do is read the book and take it and apply it to your own life. And one of the things that's really cool about the book is it actually teaches you that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like, real estate is already a system, so just go in, join it, do it the way it needs to be done, like hitting all those right points. But then later on, once you get a hang of it, then you can start to get creative and practice business in the way that really works for you. So I definitely encourage you to get the book. It's super, super good, and you won't regret reading it at all. Moving on to number 3. This is a really good one. This is key. So the third point I want to encourage you with is finding a mentor. Find a mentor. I know that if you're a millennial like me, we can definitely be go-getters. You know, we're very innovative, we're progressive, we like to get things done, and we can tap into like hustle mode really quickly. But I want to encourage you to find a mentor. Find an agent at your office who is doing what you want to do. Okay, find that agent that you or who you aspire to be like. I cannot talk today. But yeah, find you somebody you can look up to, and that person that's going to take you under their wing, because there's just so much that you can learn from agents who have been doing this. Like, they will save you so much time. They will help you out so much when it comes to like your client relationships and how to get clients and how to conduct an open house, or you know, how to deal with the lender or whatever. Like, they're just so good. And it's really cool because some agents, like, there are agents out there, by the way, who come from a place of abundance, and this goes back to making sure that you're at a realty and working with a broker that has a culture that fits you. I'm definitely the kind of person that likes to watch people do something first before I do it. I'm definitely the kind of person that likes to learn from other people's experiences. So I'm glad that I'm at a brokerage where there's a lot of older agents there, as well as agents around my age. But with the older agents, they've been doing this for such a long time that they don't view me as a threat. If anything, it's like, oh great, because I'm slammed and I need people to do my open houses for me. I need people to assist me with different things. And so it's given me an opportunity to just create some really good rapport with different agents that I work with. And I'm just happy that I can learn from them, because yeah, you have your broker, but too, you know, build those relationships, build those connections. Do a ride along one day if an agent allows you to. Like, just be a sponge. And you know, you think it's easy to think that we know more than what we really do. You know, it's like, oh, I took the real estate exam, I got my license, I'm ready. But there's just so much out there to learn. So if you find somebody who's willing to make time for you, hop on that opportunity and don't take that for granted. Moving on to number 4. The fourth thing that you need to do is you need to create a system. You need to have a daily schedule, especially for those of you who are going into this thing full time. You're diving in head first. When you wake up in the morning, you should know what to do, okay? It shouldn't be like, okay, so today's Tuesday, what am I doing? Like, no, you want to wake up and you want to be ready. So I definitely encourage you. I know I looked off for a second. I was like, oh man, did my camera stop recording? But it's still going, so we're good. But yeah, like, you want to have that daily schedule, and you want to have a system. Your system should include your lead generation, your business inquisitions, your market research, script practicing, showings, appointments, listing appointments, buyer appointments, all that, okay? That's what you need. Like, you have to have that. If you would like for me to do a video where I talk about my daily schedule and what's worked for me, I'd be happy to do that. But I cannot stress this enough. You have to treat this like it is your job, because it is your job. But more than a job, it's your career. This is your public service. So you want to make sure that you put in the time needed. You know, you might have to work 40 to 60 hours a week when you're first starting out, but that's no different from you working a 9 to 5. So you have to come in with that same energy. Yes, you work for yourself, but that should make you really feel the pressure, right? So make sure to create a daily schedule and make sure that you have a system that works. The fifth thing that you need to do to become a top producing agent is to identify 3 methods of lead generation that work for you. Yeah, 3 methods of lead generation. Some of you might not know what lead generation is. So lead generating is going to be a combination of marketing and prospecting tools that you do to get clients. Okay, so marketing is going to be more of, you know, your visuals, things people see, how they learn about your business. That might be your Facebook business page, Instagram page, Facebook ads. This could be a billboard, an ad in a publication, maybe an ad at the bus stop or on the bus. These are things that people see. It's how you get your name out there, right? But prospecting is your direct communication with the potential client, or your direct, I can't talk and I can't think either. This is going to be your face-to-face communication and contact with somebody. Okay, so when you prospect, that could be cold calling. That could be you attending social events with the purpose of getting your name out there. That could be an open house, right? This is when people get to see you in the face. They get to shake your hand. They get that one-to-one connection. So whenever you do your lead generating, you want to have 3 methods that are a blend of those 2 things. And a rule of thumb is to test your lead generation methods. Test those for 3 months and then evaluate which ones are working and which ones aren't. And then you can, of course, tidy things up from there. But make sure that you have 3 methods of lead generation. And I say 3 because it's easier to scale and measure 3 methods versus having 5 or 6. So yeah, make sure that you have an idea of how you want to get clients. Number 6 is to make sure that you practice scripts daily. I cannot stress this enough, and this is actually a weakness of mine. So I didn't tell y'all at the beginning, but I've had my license now for a little less than 2 years, and I have not put enough attention into practicing my scripts. This is so important because whenever you practice scripts, it's a way to help you navigate through future conversations, and especially conversations where there's opposition, right? So you want to be able to navigate through conversations and do it well. You want to win people over. You want to communicate effectively. You want people to know what you're about and what you're here for. So make sure you're practicing scripts. And I would suggest getting a partner, right? So I say practice scripts daily because you should. But maybe you can join a group or create a small group of people that, you know, you practice regularly throughout the week. Maybe you are just kind of like a one-on-one person, and having a partner will be perfect for that. But make sure you just don't do it by yourself, because that kind of defeats the whole purpose. So make sure that you have people that you can do it with, because, you know, it's essentially role playing, and so you don't want a partner that agrees with everything that you say, or if you're talking to yourself, you just kind of like, okay, you know, the whole point of practicing scripts is to help you prepare for those hard conversations that will come in the future, or, you know, helping you to avoid awkward points in a conversation. So make sure that you do that. Number 7 is to embrace a psychologically diverse mindset. So what I mean by having a psychologically diverse mindset is just to remember that there's not one concrete way to approach real estate. There's not just one way to get something done. So just be open to other people and how they conduct business. Of course, people that do it ethically and professionally. But I'm just saying, like, make sure that you have like a circle of people around you who are different. Because I think that there's a lot we can learn from people who are different from us, because they see things differently and they could potentially, you know, view something in a completely different light than you. And maybe they see things that you did not consider. So make sure that you are just open to not just diversity in the terms of what people look like or believe, but also in their perspectives. Because, I mean, that will add so much value to you and to your business. So yeah, just have an open mind and be willing to understand other people. Number 8 is to collaborate with others. So I have to be honest, I'm a very independent person. I can get myself motivated pretty easily. And there's times where I think that I can be on the island and do just fine. But we all know that we are better together and that we are stronger together. So don't be afraid to collaborate with other realtors. Don't view other realtors as the competition or as the enemy. Is it normal to want to perform well? Yeah, I mean, we all are trying to get clients because we're all trying to make money and we're all trying to do our very best. But don't be afraid to collaborate with other realtors. Like, just be open and, you know, if you need help, just say you need help. Or if you're not doing something well, like, I don't know, say that you really struggle with open houses, like you just can't get clients from open houses, there seems to be a disconnect. You know, don't be afraid to talk to another realtor about that and ask them, like, hey, like, what are you doing that works well? Or, hey, can I shadow you? Can I see how you get things done? And 2, be abundant in your mindset. Have a mindset of abundance. Don't be afraid to reach out to other realtors who might be struggling, and maybe you see something that they're doing wrong. Just offer to help them just because it's the right thing to do. And especially with other agents who work where you work, because at the end of the day, you know, you want to be able to tell clients, you know, I work for such and such realty, and you want to feel confident in that, knowing that your realty is one of the best, and you feel good because you're part of such a dynamic team. But knowing too that you help make that team dynamic is super powerful. So don't be afraid to collaborate with others. Don't approach real estate on an island. Just be open and just be for everyone. We're almost there to number 10. I know this video is longer than I expected it to be, but number 9 is to focus on being a market expert. When you decided to become a real estate agent, you ultimately decided to become a market expert. So by being a market expert, you know what's happening in your community, you know the trends that are taking place, you know all the happenings that are happening where you live, you know the cost of living, you know like the median value of like a house, you know how much money a person can get with their budget, how much house or how little house, whatever that looks like. You know, you're just like a walking, you're like the Google of where you live. Like, you know what's going on around you, and whenever you are that way, it just helps people to trust you, and you come off confident, and people love that. They're like, oh yeah, my realtor is so and so, like they keep up with everything, like they know exactly what's going on. So spend like 30 minutes a day. This is also a weakness of mine, but spending 30 minutes a day just to study the market and knowing what's going on, and you know, having all that knowledge, it's really going to help you and benefit your real estate business. The last thing I want to leave you with, number 10, is to ignore the haters. Ignore the haters. You know, you have to give yourself grace being a new real estate agent. You're not going to know everything. You're going to make mistakes. It might take you months before you see your first real estate transaction. You're going to feel alone and intimidated and afraid because ultimately you're practicing an area of law that you did not go to law school for. So you're dealing with people, their money, a lot of money, property. It's a lot. And people have a tendency to try to pass on their emotions onto others. So whenever anybody approaches anything in full-time entrepreneurship, it scares people because not everybody is called to do what you're doing. So don't allow other people's fear to make you fearful. For myself, I just say, Amber, you're new at this. It's okay. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay. And I just continue to move forward. But people will ask you questions. You know, they're going to ask you, well, why are you quitting your job? Don't you need money from your job to support yourself and your family and this and that? Or, you know, well, how much money are you going to make? Or, wow, you've been doing this for 3 months. You haven't made any money yet. Wow. People are going to tell you some discouraging things, unfortunately, and it's all rooted in fear. But don't let other people's fear be passed along to you and then you start to take it in as well. You know, you have to make sure that you are being consistent with your business, that you are devoted, that you're committed. You have to make sure that you're showing up every single day. And yes, there's going to be people that tell you no. There's going to be times where you don't feel like you have the support. But you have to just push through that. I know for me, it was a big leap of faith for my husband and I to pursue full-time real estate. But at the end of the day, this is God's plan for us. This is His will for us. And time again, He has come through and He's shown that. He's proved it. So it's just funny how, you know, at first people kind of side-eye you, but then they start to see, oh, they're actually doing pretty well, or wow, they're still standing, and then they want to support you later. And I'm not saying that to be shady. It's just the human condition. So don't take it personally. Do not allow it to turn into bitterness or resentment or anything like that. You just have to move forward and understand that when people say things, they're just afraid. It's all rooted in fear, and you have to just give them grace and continue to keep things moving along. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to my video. If you enjoyed it, please comment below. Tell me something that I shared here that really got your attention, maybe something that you really want to incorporate if you're already an agent, or maybe you watched this video being on the fence and maybe you're like, yeah, I want to do this, and maybe you're like, you know what, I'm good, I think I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Feel free to share. Also, please subscribe to my channel. My goal is to reach or to build a community here, and I would love to have 100,000 subscribers by December of 2022. And then also ring that notification bell, or click that notification bell, let it ring. That way, whenever I upload new videos, you will be alerted. And then share this with a friend. Maybe you know somebody who's kind of on the fence, maybe they are a realtor, whatever, like pass this along to them. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see y'all next time. Take care.